Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication.
Thank you for watching this program. Thank you for Henry Turner, who wrote and performed the opening song here. Modern medication just doesn't work for me. We use cannabis. We use it smoking it. We make a tincture out of it with olive oil or whatever natural ingredients we got. We're just here. People in the hospital. You don't have to smoke it to get the benefits of it. We need you to renew your medical marijuana card or get a card. We need the program to continue, but we need to be better informed. So, thank you. Here's Perry and Sonny, and I'm PK, and enjoy life.
Hey, we're the Mercy TV. Welcome to it. Today's episode, get active, stay active, be productive, whatever level you can. A lot of folks can't get out, what have you. So they need to learn to be able to be active from home, as it were. So not just the social networks, but all the other networks that are open to you through the internet or other means. It's still possible to for folks. I mean, if you're a cannabis activist or activist of any level for any issue, you can still rent out a place, put up flyers on your issue, get people there, and start to take action on things. I mean, that's what flash mobs do.
So, our friend Dan Cuser of Eugene, the bagman, had a show out of the Sheldon High School. And we went down and done shows there. And we found the community station here in Salem. And that's why we're still here. We believe in cannabis is a good medicine. We believe hemp is a good product to be using. So it's common sense. If we were using hemp and cannabis from the beginning, and this is way back when George Washington was growing the stuff. And he did research on it also. If the pharmaceutical companies and the timber industry wasn't so afraid that cannabis would take over their industry, which it would have been.
Well, you know, hey, Mercy Nation, you know, if you've watched the show over all these years, you know all the good things the medicine does. If you're just tuning in for the first time, you know, we're talking about the cannabis and how the good medicine is for you. You know, and it doesn't matter whether you're using an indica or a sativa. And, you know, there's a lot of different strains, you know, and it's good for you, and the conditions and the side effects, what people call side effects, are usually good. You know, that's another thing. You know, before the show, we was talking about, I was out on a walk and talked with the man that was telling me it was like when we overturned the law, when it was still illegal, and now it's legal, but he was having problems, and that was the thing.
Well, a lot of things, but the main thing is the veterans don't have to be scared about using cannabis. A lot of the laws have changed for them. And The veterans are the people that fought for our freedom and our rights. So be courteous to these people. If you can, make the donation. But it's up to us to write to our representatives and tell our testimonial about the
That's
thing.
always important about your senators and your legislators, and making sure that they know whatever your condition, and if whatever strain you're using, that the medicine is working for you. Because the way your body metabolizes the medicine, and you don't have to say you smoke it, you can say you're eating it, you can say you're drinking it, or like, you know, I got the psoriasis and I rub it on, you know, and I got it from my feet to, I got it clear up on my head, you know, I got it clear up here on my forehead, on my head, in my head, you know, I got it everywhere. And you know, I rub it on and I use it, and you know, you see it's pretty good. You know, it's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be really bad, you know, and it works good. And I'm not taking no pills for it. And that's better. It's one less pill I have to take. Because I used to have to take a lot of pills because I got a lot of conditions, but now it's better. So, you know, the thing is, the medicine works, cannabis is good, and people call it a lot of different names, Perry. And that's, you know, they're trying to confuse
All of it,
people.
which is so slang and pejorative, like the word marijuana, you know. You can get a more heavily racist and slated word in there, and that's the official government word for it. So that's just one one example in the microcosm there of all the nonsensical crap. I mean, it still permeates the communities and society, even though it's, quote, legal. Still people get hassled for it, you know. Until recently, veterans, you know, had to be concerned about using cannabis for medicinal purposes, even if they were authorized to do so in the state where they were residing and so forth. So now here it isn't a big deal, but that's only by the grace of the current administration. They could easily, there's no law saying it, it's just policy choice. So they could easily come back and reverse that, some administration. Just like the, quote, legalization that we have here in Oregon. It's only due because the feds are allowing it to happen, you know. And it shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't have this sword of Damocles hanging over our heads, and that will be there until we, once and for all, finally, completely get rid of cannabis prohibition to end it. So,
Well, and your doctors, that's why it's very important, no matter what your condition. You know, we haven't talked about MS and Crohn's and seizures. You know, I have seizures, all the other people, the pain, you know, sciatic nerve, you know, I've got a sciatic nerve, you know. There's a lot of things people have that they don't talk about because they don't want to be complaining about things, you know. The different kinds of the arthritises, you know, different broken bones. You know, people,
Carpal tunnel.
yeah, you know, they don't say things because they don't want to, and pills, they don't want to take more pills. They're already taking pills for other conditions. They don't want to take more pills. So they don't take them, you know. But cannabis helps. And it don't matter whether they're smoking it, whether they're eating it, whether they're rubbing it on, it all helps. And that's the thing, Perry. They know it's working because their quality of life is better.
well, it's safe, you know. There's no overdose level to it. You can't kill it if your kids or your pets pick it up. You know, nobody's going to die from it. Nobody has, really. That's all reefer madness propaganda, and that's the real crime, is that what amounts to pejorative testimony. People perjured. They lied in the whatever little testimony there was about making cannabis illegal, about making all the people who benefit from it illegal, to make it not just illegal thing, but a wrong and evil thing, and it's the consumption of it for whatever purpose is not evil and shouldn't be. It's certainly the laws shouldn't be based on that.
Even if you're using the cannabis as a recreational drug, you're still getting the benefits of the cannabis plant.
Medicinal
some people
benefits,
didn't know that. Some people didn't know that, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Now you know. The thing is, you're getting educated to that.
So what you going to do with that education, though? You're going to sit on it, or you're going to take it and spread it out to the people that need to know, like your representatives. If your representatives believe that nonsense, you definitely don't want that person there, or at least get them to change their minds on that.
Well, they could be voting against you. That's the thing. If they're voting against you and you're getting better quality of life, you're getting better energy, and they're voting against you, there's
So
something
yeah,
wrong with
definitely
that.
know how they're voting. But a lot of people have varying issues and sometimes they're contrary, So not only do you need to decide what that you're going to act on your issue, but what's your priority issue? If your representative, is one way or another, but what's your key issue? What's important? What's the make or break thing? And hopefully that's cannabis there, because that's really breaks it down. All the others kind of
your
follow
quality of
suit
life.
after it. The right to life,
Make
a
or
right
break
to liberty.
thing is your
So-
vote. And this is why we need you to register and vote when it's time to vote, and get the right representatives in the auction so we can have the most benefits wars about cannabis.
Well, and your doctors, you guys, it's so important for your doctors. And, we already know a lot of people are not comfortable with talking with their doctors. That's what we didn't get to before when we was talking about that fella I talked with this weekend, or earlier this weekend. He's not comfortable with talking with his doctor, so I might end up going to his doctor with him.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And I haven't been with the patient for a while. We go, Mercy goes to patients, doctors with them. That's what we do. Because some people don't really know how to talk to their doctors about using the cannabis, and it's okay. We do that. We've been doing it for a long time.
Excuse me, Sonny and Barry. Remember, the first weekend in May is our Million City March. This is a worldwide march where we stand there and hopefully we give out the right information to the public. So remember the first weekend, and I believe that's the 3rd of May, right?
This year it's May 3rd, and that is the what used to be called the Million Marijuana March, where we try to get 1 million or so people all active on the same day, all around the world. So we have hundreds of cities involved, including Salem, Oregon. And check your Mercy Center website for more information, like how you sign up your city, how you sign up your group to participate in this global action item for cannabis law reform.
Well, that's what's important, Perry, is you shouldn't feel like you're the only one. There's a lot of people out there, and they're all using it, and they're using it for different reasons and for different conditions. And we haven't brought up our friend that's using it for his cancer, and his cancer's still gone. I talked to him here I've been in this past week, and he said his doctor don't want to see him, for it's going to be a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you know, he'll
Another
check.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months or 8 months.
But his cancer's in remission. That's
Yeah.
the important thing. you know.
So, and he eats it, and he drinks it, and he does all of it, you know. And he smokes it, and he's in good shape. And he does, his doctor puts him through the radiation or whatever too, you know.
Well, it was used in conjunction with chemotherapy,
Yeah.
as it has with a lot. I mean, there's been some cases where folks have been able to get by with just the cannabis, but for the most part, it's part of a therapy, just like in cases like seizures. The cannabis doesn't cure or prevent the seizure, just all the effects that happen around it there. The pre and post seizure issues such as spasticity and trauma that you typically experience during the process there.
My wife did it all, Perry, and she died, you know.
So-
my wife did it all, and she did the radiation, she did, and she ate it, and she did it, you know. So, like you just said, you know,
So often
But
it's
you had a
not.
better quality of life.
yes,
It's part of a therapy, and we just want to make this note so
it's
that
the quality of life.
some folks who feel better when they begin their cannabis therapy do not stop taking their regular medication without consulting their doctor.
Nope, she took it all the way through it.
So, but for we've had communication with doctors on, say, seizures for folks that
Yep, all the seizures.
don't stop taking your medicine
Yep.
because you're feeling better with the cannabis. So.
No, all the people. I mean, I've got all kinds of seizures, and we've had other patients that's come into the Mercer.
Same with cancer medications. Some folks say, "Hey, I don't need it. I'm better." And it's like, well, let's check with your doc. And the doc gets the actual real numbers, like your white cell count in the case of the cancer patients.
Well, you know, when he does the blood test,
You know how often and the severity of your seizures is the determining thing in the case of that particular condition.
because you'd be feeling good. Your quality of life, your energy, you're sleeping, you're eating, you know, all these things are great, you know, and that's the thing, you know, they're great. And when you're feeling that good, and you know, man, the only thing I did different is I'm using some cannabis. I'm smoking it, I'm eating it, I'm rubbing it on, and I'm feeling great. And I'm using this strain, it's an indica. I'm
And it's
using
dealing
that
with the
strain,
pain,
you know.
and so you're thinking, hey, it's you know, whatever it is cured, it's fixed, and you need to, again, this is where talking with your doctor, so he can run the numbers, and you know, on whatever your situation is.
Well, and he's got some questions.
Even more specific, like say glaucoma patients, there's a way to measure the pressure that's on your eye from the glaucoma, and so you can measure that pre and post consuming cannabis and see the difference there. And those are the kind of
Well, he's gonna
measurements
have
and
some
tests we
questions,
should have.
Barry. He's going to have some questions. You know, Doc's going to have some questions. And he's going to want to know.
So answer him wisely and correctly.
Well, and with integrity, honestly. You know, that's when talking with your doctor, they're going to want to know not just the form of, you know, how you're medicating, whether you're smoking it or what have you, but how often, how many doses do you need, and how frequent, and so forth.
Yeah.
Things that they
Well,
would with,
yes, it did, because I don't see it there. So,
with any other medicine.
and it's the top of my pipe.
So the important thing, I guess, is that it's safe as well as effective. I mean, that's the whole thing about reefer madness is It's evil. It's dangerous. It kills and corrupts your soul. And as I'm sure some people believe the sun's gonna get blotted out if we allow cannabis to happen, or some other nonsense there. No telling.
You know, the medicine is working, and no matter how you're using it, and as you use it and you talk with others, they know they're using it differently. Maybe they're making some breads, some cookies, you know, pancakes. You know, that was one of the biggest things we did for so long, was having those pancake breakfasts on the Silver Falls. You know, so many patients, you know, because it works for so many conditions, you know, and they enjoyed it, you know.
Well, you have to try it to find out.
Well,
That's the trick.
they learned that they could use it for
And,
themselves.
you know, when you're trying it out, for those who are not used to the cannabis experience, if you will, and you get your medibles, your concentrated medicines especially, be sure to take it in small doses at first and wait an appropriate period. You know, you need to let more than 5 minutes pass by before you can, you know, assume that it's not gonna have an effect on you. That's the most common way that people, quote, overdose with medicinal cannabis, or cannabis in general, recreationally. They'll take some concentrated dosage, not thinking it's affecting them, take even more or too much. But the bottom line is, you're not going to die, even though some people have sworn that they thought they were going to.
It's back to everybody's body metabolizes the medicine differently. And the way your body metabolizes is the way it metabolizes the medicine. And that's, you know, depending on what you've ate earlier, how much you've had to drink, you know, and what kinds of drinks you've had. Was it a fruit drink? Was it a water, you know? I mean, all of it, there's so many factors in there. And Perry, it's just people's, you know, they got to understand, they got to see how it works. You know, once they find out how it's working for them, they'll, oh man, then they go crazy. You know, man, I like it. It does so good for me, because it's, especially when whatever condition you got and you find out, man, I can start the pills I was taking, all these pills I was taking. Now I don't have to take all these pills, because I can, the doctor will go, well, you don't need to take all these pills. Here, I can cut you off, and you can only have to take these few pills. You know, that's what people find out, is the doctor will take you off a lot of pills. You know, when patients find out that the doctor will start taking you off pills, then they're happy, you know. And that's the biggest result, is when doctors start taking you off of pills, then patients are happy.
Yeah, because we look at that situation where people are reducing their overall medicinal, pharmaceutical requirements due to cannabis. So they're taking fewer pills, they're taking less dosage of those pills, and not only experiencing an increase in the quality of life, but there's a financial and an economic benefit there too, as people go from $1,000 a month or so on their medications to like $100, literally. So, you know, now if that isn't improving your quality of life, I don't know what is. People taking less frequently, suffering less, benefiting more, and then having the economic. I'm surprised the insurance companies who are paying for these pharmaceuticals,
The patient's energy.
don't see this, don't say, hey, wow, there was a way to save money here.
We
But-
were lucky that Dr. Phil LeBeck did a lot of here in Oregon to make medical cannabis
A
happen.
lot of people don't know who Phil LeBeck is, you know, and he was a good man. and he knew that cannabis worked for people and that it worked for a lot of conditions, and he stood up and helped get the law changed.
Yeah, people, if you want to know more, look up Dr. Phil Levesque. Was one of the first, I think he signed for the first medical cannabis permit here in Oregon, and was Sonny's physician of record for getting his medical cannabis card for a number of years. And famously, and you can look this up in jurisprudence, legal to-dos, Dr. Levesque gave Sonny a double prescription. He could have twice as many plants as other folks could, because of he was in so much pain and suffering that it was required. And again, we talk about the safety of it, the safety protocols. It was, there was no overdose level for it. So, yeah, we're pretty fond of Dr. Levesque, and Sonny has a personal favorite there. And folks that are looking to,
it's back to when you're eating
model
it,
your actions after others. Yeah, there's a person
and smoking it,
to it. So,
and eating it and smoking it and rubbing it on, the amounts that you're going through are a lot. It's a lot of medicine. And that's the thing. Most people just smoke a little bit. Well, I was smoking what they smoke, plus I was eating it.
What are you
plus
smoking? Well, the good stuff there. Really.
I was smoking it, I was eating it, and I was rubbing it on. So it took a lot of plants to do all that. And that's the way we did it.
That's the way we did. And hopefully we can pass on some of that, what we went through, to those folks who are still working in those states we don't have the law yet, or working on the federal.
People in other states, Perry, that's what we want to help people in other states. They need to know that.
How we got the law here in Oregon, what we've done since then to try to improve it.
That's by voting. So,
yeah,
please.
The bottom line was to register, vote, and get everyone you know to do so also. Support your local program. If one isn't happening yet, make it happen. And at all times, whether you have the law in your state or not, network. If you've got the state that doesn't have it yet and you're part of your local medical cannabis underground, God bless you, and line up legal help. There's strength in numbers. One of your members gets busted, everybody go to that court hearing. Yep. Everybody go to every time and place that you can. And people are hassled, in divorce proceedings and and everything because he used cannabis once. It's ridiculous. There was a story of somebody crossing the border into Canada. They had one guy that just really was a mass murderer, slaughtered people with a chainsaw or something, was covered in blood, disheveled. He was a crazy looking man. He was okay. But the guy who had a pot bust, 30 years old, was not allowed into Canada because we can't have that sort of ilk, eh? And that just goes to show you the insanity of the reefer madness thing going on. I mean, everybody's heard the tales of grandmas being busted after going to a Grow Light store, because the cops were watching it and following people from there and busting it because it's got to be marijuana. It was worth that level of, civil liberties being abused because it was such a thing, and it's not. And so we say, cut the crap, end the war, and let's get the benefit and not have the waste in not just money and resources, but darn good people who are ruined because of the damn thing. A lie.
Back to our vets,
and that's about all we have time for.
The vets?
Yeah. Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Mercy TV.
Thank you for Phil Levesque. Thank you for Mike and Shauna, Ethan,
Grandma
Janice, all the people that have been through the Mercy Center. We hope we help you out.
Everybody at the station.
Yeah. Henry Turner.
A lot of
he
people
has
through
a
the
show
years. Thanks much.
on this channel as well. So I hope you get to enjoy his show as well. And then I do my garden and show you how to take care of your cannabis plants.
We have so many, you know.
Thank you.
Hey, Mercy Nation, everybody
Right.
be safe.
We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Have fun. Go fly a kite on a beautiful day. Thank you.
Remember, the medicine is good.
Yes, sir. Enjoy life. Bye-bye. Say anything before I turn it off, Glenn?
Yes, good night.
Good night. God bless you all, every single one of you.